What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video. And today I want to talk about, two questions that separate rich people from poor people. And this is something that my boy Dave Ramsey has talked about. He usually gets callers with specific questions on their personal situation. If you have not listened to his podcast that comes on every day, I think at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it normally goes on for like 2 to 3 hours, I highly suggest that you start doing so today. Well, it's the weekend, but starting next week. But you can also go to his channel and still listen to previous broadcasts, right? What helped me when I started listening to Dave is hearing scenarios that were similar to mine. And it helped me make decisions. It helped me figure out what to do with my money, how I should look at real estate, so on and so forth. And it can do the same for you if you're not sure on what to do and you need help and you're afraid to ask for help and you don't know what questions to ask. And that's okay. Start listening to him. And also what I've come to understand when I think about the video that I made on yesterday about investing money is psychological. We're all in different places. And what I don't want to do is come across as if I am judging people. This information that I'm giving out is not for everyone. This information that I talk about on my channel, whether it be investing, how you think, pertaining to money in life, is for the people that are seeking it. You're seeking answers. You're looking for solutions when it comes to money, your personal finances, so on and so forth. And those that are not looking for it, those are the ones that won't be drawn to this type of information. So it says here, I found an article, and it says, it talks about how Dave Ramsey gets callers from questions on questions pertaining to people's personal situations, right? However, among general topics, one that comes up is the different mindset that separates the rich from the poor. The mindset, how they think, right? Again, money is not everything. It's just one piece of the puzzle. And all I'm trying to do is help you get control of that piece. You can go to other YouTubers, doctors, lawyers, your priests, your pastors, and help you out in other parts. I'm dealing with just this one, right? So, my boy Dave, he noted that the major question that rich people ask when posed with a proposition is how much. Conversely, Dave says that a poor person would ask how much down payment. The implication is that rich people don't spend beyond their means, while poor people habitually overspend themselves into debt scenarios. They purchase based on whether or not they can afford the down payment, without consideration about how high interest rates, sudden emergencies, a loss of employment, or a pay cut can impact the ability to maintain payments, not to mention the higher total cost, the higher total net cost when the interest is added on. So according to debt.com, 1 in 3 Americans have maxed out their credit cards. According to Business Insider, the average American is $104,215 in debt, inclusive of mortgage, credit cards, auto loans, and student loans. The yoke of debt around American taxpayers' necks grow continually larger. The national debt is presently increasing by over $1 trillion every fiscal year. I think for this fiscal year, 2024, I think the national debt is going to grow like $1.8 trillion. So it seems like, I'll just leave it at that. There's absolutely no question that debt and credit business is huge. These companies are making trillions of dollars off of you going into more and more debt. Visa stock at the time, at the time of this article, right? At the time of this article, is currently 4 points shy of this 52-week high of $296.34. Actually, I'm going to look up Visa stock real time because this article, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty old. Visa stock. Good thing I logged on. So here's the thing. So at the time of this writing, Visa stock was $296.34. That was this year, right? This article, I forgot what month. Maybe it was. Either way, Visa is now $318.66. That's for one stock in Visa. So that means the company is making a lot of money. The market cap for Visa is $624.9 billion. That's how much the company is worth. And is worth that much because of you that keep using your Visa credit card and going more and more into debt. That is interesting. I wonder what MasterCard is. I mean, it is a business. I mean, if you choose to max out your credit card, that's your business. All right. And Barclays has just announced its 12-month target for Visa at $347. It's almost there. It's at $318 right now. Rival MasterCard is trading at $506. Guess how much MasterCard stock is as of today? December 30th, $532.20. It went down $3.95 on Friday. And has an analyst consensus 12-month target price of $544.36. It's almost there. Visa's market cap, the company is worth $488.47 billion. So that means they're making a lot of money. Right? Credit card balances exceeded the $1 trillion milestone in Q4 of 2023. A Debt.com report cited the following statistics among American respondents. 45% have had to use credit cards to pay for staples due to inflation-fueled higher prices. You're using a credit card to pay for staples? 9% have had a financial emergency requiring use of a credit card. 35% have maxed out their credit cards. 85% of those that maxed out credit cards blamed inflation and higher prices as the overwhelming factor in prompting credit card use. 22% were carrying credit card debt between $10,000 and $20,000. 5% were carrying credit card debt in excess of $30,000. If you are hearing my voice, if you're looking at this video, this is the signal to tell you to stop maxing out your credit card. This is your notice to stop spending money you do not have. That's what credit cards do. It gives you a false sense of money. And it makes you think that it's something that's manageable. But it's like, it's like a bad thing. You use it once or twice and you think that you can manage it, and then you continue to use it, and then all of a sudden it can get out of control. Because we're trying to live like the Joneses, our next door neighbors. We're trying to do what our friends do. We're trying to live above our means. Because there are so many things that are selling us more and more. And then the same things that we get frustrated over when we watch television or we listen to politicians and pastors, most of those problems they stem from us and our bad decisions. The decisions that put us in uncompromising situations and positions. We do it to ourselves. So the answer is you. You have to take a look at yourselves, you know? Like it says here, people are blaming other, and no one wants to take responsibility. And I will say that's what happened to me when I started seeking answers to my problems, and reading books. I quickly learned the problem was me. It wasn't anyone else. It wasn't I was about to say something else. The problem is me and my outlook on life. And there's a lot I just didn't know. There's a lot I did not understand. So therefore, I was not fully applying myself. I needed to change my outlook, because having a negative outlook on life puts up this wall. And then, because for a very long time, I used to think there's this wall that I could not get through or get over. There's this blockage and I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was me. I thought maybe I was stupid. I just wasn't smart. I was cursed by God because of my skin. I used to think all of those things, trying to figure out. But I had to go through that frustration and feeling crazy and not realizing what it is, and the thought just would not, because I started down that path, it would not leave me. So that's the thing. When you start your journey, you know, it's going to make you feel a way. But either way, but because I went through all of that frustration, the door opened. But just because that door opened and I was able to figure some things out, there's still more that has to be done, right? And that's what Joseph Campbell calls the hero's journey, right? I mean, you are who you're looking for, in a sense, right? In a sense, right? Because you are the one that has to figure out what needs to be done for you and your family. How can you get better? How can you get out of the negative situation that you're in? How can you get out of debt? How can you stop doing these things that are not helping you? How can you start living more smartly? Because, you know, people are maxing out their credit cards. Why? If you have a good job, why are you maxing out your credit card? If you are making $50,000 a year, why do you have a $35,000 car? You know? But again, we don't know what we don't know. You know, a lot of our parents didn't tell us these things, right? So we're having to figure this out on our own. But first, you have to seek how to make better decisions, to find information like this and others, start reading books to stop making those mistakes. I always tell myself, I don't want to make a mistake and then figure out the solution. I want to see the mistake that can be made and then make a decision. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I no longer need to experience negativity to find the solution. I don't even want to go through the problem. That's why I stay away from a lot of things, to include people, right? Because, yeah, I just do that. So either way, so Dave's fundamental advice is essentially, don't buy it if you can't afford it. Sadly, the omnipresent of 24/7 marketing in our social media, emails, television viewing, and even reading newspapers and magazines makes this advice even more difficult now than a bygone days. You don't realize how much you're advertised to. Like when you can log onto Facebook and you can see articles or stuff from cooking magazines, from airplane tickets to stuff that people have liked, right? Because they're friends of yours on social media. You can see the things that they've liked, and it can say liked by so-and-so. There's so much that's being sold and advertised to you, to where it also makes you or forces you to buy these things or want these things, right? Like it says here, Marketing is happening 24/7 via the news, social media, um, the newspaper, magazines, everywhere. Here's the thing, you don't have to buy it. The economy is going, Visa's going to be just fine if you just use your credit card responsibly. Dave says don't even have one, right? Because if you can't afford it, I mean, if you can't buy it, if you don't have the money to actually buy it, then that means you can't really afford it. If you don't have the money to, you just moved into your apartment and you don't have the money to actually buy that sofa set right now, don't buy it. You don't have to buy it. Or you can go on, go to garage sales. You can find something for cash. You don't have to use your credit card, because then when you use the credit card to buy the living room suite, you're also going to use the credit card to buy the television. Then you're going to need the stand for the television to go on in the living room. Oh, then you also need a dining room table. You're going to buy that. Oh, you also need more dishes. You're going to buy that. Oh, you need a new bedroom suite because, you're moving into a new place, new apartment. And before you know it, you have $10,000 on your credit card. And you have $10,000 on your credit card. You still have your student loans to pay. You also need to pay your utilities for that apartment. You also have to pay your car insurance. You also have to pay your car payment. We do too much. We do too much. So, given that inflation is still a threat that is lurking around the corner to jump higher yet again, cutting credit cards that may be needed in emergencies is not a practical option in the current economic climate. So here's the thing. They used to say credit cards were for emergencies. I remember, how old was I? Dang. I think when I first got my credit card, I just had a credit card with a $500 limit. And I didn't get my first credit card until I was in my mid-20s, I think. But either way, I remember a mentor of mine telling me, hey, get a credit card and use it only for emergencies. He said, say a family emergency comes up and you just have to jump online and buy a plane ticket. You want to use your credit card for stuff like that. He never told me, hey, get a credit card so you could buy groceries, so you could buy furniture. He strictly and specifically told me, this was many years ago, it's for emergencies. But people don't use credit cards these days for emergencies. People are using them to buy groceries. People are using it to travel, leisure travel. And then they post these travels all over social media as if they don't have to pay their credit card bills, So here's the thing. It says here, make a weekly budget and start saving. I'm telling you, people, you have to have a plan. And you create a plan by creating a budget. Even a small amount of savings every week after all current expenses are met will become a financial benefit and is a good habit to develop. The weekly budget will help you separate spending on needs versus wants and offer a good financial picture as to how much cash is being burnt so that lifestyle adjustments can be decided upon. When you create a budget, you will start to see how much you're spending things on wants, not what you need. You want that Starbucks coffee. You want that Applebee's or Chili's lunch every day with coworkers. You don't need it. You need to buy groceries. You need to take your lunch to work with you. You need to stop spending money on things that you can control. You need to budget. You shouldn't want to budget. You need to budget. Because, again, it says here, 1 in 3 Americans have maxed out their credit cards. Yeah. Also, it says eliminate the habitual use of credit cards. by sticking to cash and debit cards. Regular accounting monitoring will immediately let you know how well a budget is being adhered to. If you have to pay your cash for something, you would think twice about spending your money. But when you don't see that money, when it's not that actual cash from your savings account, oh, charge to the credit card. Now realize you have to pay that credit card, you have to pay it off. And then the APR, the interest that's being added to that balance every month is growing, people. You know, just like I said, you can't see it, but there's a paddle board of mine back there. But paying $400 and $500 or $450 for a paddle board, I just couldn't get over it. Even though I had the money, I budgeted for it. I took it back so many times, but this time I kept it. You know, I didn't need one, but I wanted one. And actually, I'm also using it for my business when I take photos. So it's also a business expense. So that's how I also looked at it. It's for my business. And because it's for my business, it is also a tax write-off. Right? So the cost of a $10 McDonald's meal bought on a credit card with a high interest credit card, the cost of a $10 McDonald's meal bought on credit with a high interest credit card can wind up costing more than double in the long run, depending on how much the overall debt can be paid down over what period of time. Yeah, you charge that $10, $15 McDonald's meal, Burger King meal, but you've also charged that coffee from Starbucks. You've also charged, that plane ticket. So you're adding, so now that $10, $15 from that meal is wrapped up into the overall balance. And you're only paying that $20, payment each month. But the balance continues to get higher and higher and higher. So that's the way you need to look at it. You do what you want, but I'm telling you, that's not good. Also, look for debt consolidation options. As interest rates may temporarily fall somewhat thanks to the recent Fed funds rates cut, locking in a lower interest rate and using it to consolidate high interest rate credit cards can be invaluable in refinancing outstanding debt into a more manageable monthly amount. I don't really agree with that. I personally don't. That's why I say get control of your finances so you don't have to consolidate anything. That's gone too far. I've known people that have consolidated loans and they've consolidated like their car. That's too much. If you would just manage your money properly, you wouldn't have to consolidate anything. However, it is an option. And if it's an option you choose, then so be it. But get out of this debt, people. This debt is holding you back psychologically. This debt is causing you to dig yourself in a more deeper hole. I look at it as like you're an alcoholic or drug addict and you just can't kick it. You just can't. It seems like something that you can't let go of, even though it's hurting you. You just don't know what to do. So you just keep doing it. But then there are a lot of people, because I used to be this person a long time ago, and I know a lot of us are the same more often than not. We blame other people for our problems, not taking any responsibility, even though we're the ones that are making the decisions to put us in the bad situation that we're in. We want to blame someone else. It's either the government's fault, it's our mother's fault, it's our father's fault, it's our siblings' fault, it's our spouse's fault, it's our children's fault. No, it's our fault. It's the individual fault. There are some things that are out of our control. But when it comes to money and being in credit card debt, it's our fault. It's our fault because we didn't have a plan. Now, do unforeseen circumstances happen? Yes. I always say life is going to keep lifing. Emergencies are going to happen. That's why you need to be prepared for these emergencies. Now, are there like other things that can be very extreme. Yeah, we do have some outliers. But for the most part, most people just charging staples to their credit card, carrying debt $10,000 to $20,000 average, continuing to go on trips they can't afford, creating even higher balance. Those can be controlled. It's like overeating and being overweight. It can be controlled. So the decision is yours to make. So that's what separates, the rich from the poor. It's the mindset. It's the mindset, people. It's the mindset. So yeah. How much? How much down payment? Like the rich is going to ask you how much. A poor person is going to ask you how much money do you need to put down. Because the rich will buy something. They don't look to just get things they can't afford. So here's another thing. It's like, it's not about just getting rich. It's like, can you maintain it? Because there are a lot of people, like the story I read yesterday about, I believe his name was Richard Fuscone. He was a Harvard graduate with the MBA, worked for Merrill Lynch, retired, at the age of 40 or before 40. And then the 2008 financial crisis happened and he lost everything. But then you had someone by the name of Ronald Reed, who was a janitor at JCPenney's for 17 years and worked as an auto mechanic for 25 years. And when he passed, he had $8 million. So him and Richard, two separate people. And then Ronald Reed only graduated high school. Richard went to Harvard. He was considered smart and educated, right? So it's all about your mindset, and you have to change your mindset. We have to get out of this negative way of thinking. And we don't realize how we're being programmed to think that way. A lot of people have no control over their thoughts. They haven't realized that yet. Because who wants to sit around and think negative all the time? But that's what we do. And we're trying to figure out why you're thinking that it's you. You're thinking that you're just a negative person who's just unhappy, who's sad and miserable, but you're not realizing it's because of the things that you are consuming, the things that you are paying attention to, and also the people that you're hanging around are more than likely negative. It can be family members. Every time you're around them, they're complaining about something, or they're talking down to you. Or it could be your friends, they're mad at everyone. They're mad at everybody but themselves. So now you're mad at everyone and everybody. The things that you're watching on television, the news, where the finger is always being pointed at someone else. So we take that same approach. It's always someone else's fault. No. So you need to turn off your TV, you need to get off of social media, and you need to start thinking. And it's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I believe that is the reason why most people don't do it. They don't want to put in the work. And I've come to realize there are some people that they just want to be negative. They want to be a professional victim. Because I listened to people thinking that they wanted a solution, and I've tried giving them a solution to what they continue to talk about is a problem. But then the next day and the next day, they still talk about the same thing. And I quickly realized I'm wasting my time trying to get this person to see things differently and thinking that they were talking to me in hopes to find a solution. No, they're just talking just to talk. And it's just negative. And they don't want to find a solution. They're just stuck in their ways. So therefore, I just cut them off. I stopped hanging around. I stopped talking to them. Yeah. And then if they ask me, why did I stop? I tell them, you're too negative. I don't like that. You have to be honest with people. If they ask you, be honest. But yeah, all right, so I'm going to end this video here. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think. If you think anything at all, disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. Any and all information on my channel is for informational purposes only and reflects my opinions. So please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your money if you choose to do so, right? But create a budget, people. Control your money. Live below your means. Plan. Create a plan. Because tomorrow is coming. Are you prepared? The end is coming. Are you prepared? You are not going to live forever. It's okay to have fun. You can live below your means and still live a good life, like I've said so many times. Stop trying to live like the stuff that we see on television. It's all fun, but don't take the stuff too seriously and too literally, right? So yeah. All right, you guys take care. Peace.